In the next few slides, we will be covering some of the important concepts of Boardwalk. This will include the understanding of how Boardwalk implements the idea of neighborhoods, what we mean by a collaboration, what a whiteboard is, the idea of a cuboid and the different types of cuboids, configuration of access control. We will also understand how to bring a subset of a user's data as a work slice into the workbook, in other words, download data on demand. A neighborhood is used on the Boardwalk server to organize enterprise users in a hierarchical fashion. It's where you place your collaboration such that it's associated with a set of users. Neighborhoods can represent any hierarchical collection of users, by department, by project team, etc. There are 4 levels of neighborhoods, starting with 0 and the lowest being 3. The neighborhood 0 is the root and typically it is the organization. For example, for a company, Acme, the root neighborhood would be Acme. Level 1 neighborhood is below the neighborhood 0 and there is a parent-child relationship between the two. Neighborhood 0 can have many neighborhood 1s below it. Examples of neighborhood 1s within an organization are departments like HR, sales, operations, etc., etc. Similarly, a level 2 neighborhood is a child of the level 1 neighborhood. Multiple neighborhood 2s can be children of level 1 neighborhood. One usage of neighborhood 2 is to have applications pertaining to a particular department. For example, for the operations department, there could be a PO application, a shipment application, etc. Level 3 neighborhoods, typically used to define roles of users for a particular application, would be children of a level 2 neighborhood. The roles define what the intent of users is. For example, a role may be defined for users who contribute raw data to the application and could be referred to as a contributor role. Users are then assigned to these roles. Neighborhoods are related to each other in parent-child relationship. The relationship between neighborhoods drives access control on the Boardwalk tables. For example, users belonging to a role under the sales organization will not be able to access data in the HR neighborhood. Within each neighborhood, one can have one or many collaborations. A collaboration is like a project and contains Boardwalk tables that belong to the collaboration. Hence, there can be an application at the neighborhood 0 level, which could be across an organization. Collaborations can be at level 1 and level 2 also. Collaborations contain whiteboards which are similar to an electronic file folder. A whiteboard is a convenient entity used to organize Boardwalk tables and other information. For example, a whiteboard could be used for master data. One could use different whiteboards for organizing input and output data sets. Each of the whiteboards can contain multiple Boardwalk tables, also referred to as cuboids. A cuboid is a range of cells originating in an Excel file or other application, much like a print area or a named range. This range of cells must be in the form of a rectangle and have unique, non-empty column headers. The cuboid defines the tabular data structure within the Boardwalk server. Since the cuboid is tabular structure and could be originating from an Excel workbook, it consists of rows and columns. Both the rows and columns have a sequence number associated with them and is stored in the database, i.e., Boardwalk preserves the sequence of the rows and columns in the database, and when the data is viewed, the view has the same sequence as stored in the database. The intersection of a row and column gives us a cell, as is in a spreadsheet cell. Boardwalk stores the data at the cell level. Whenever a change is made to the cell, a new value is added to the database for that cell, with a datetime stamp along with the user's ID. This enables data persistence and versioning of the cell. Every change to a cell is linked to the previous entry, forming a chain of changes that can be queried, thus giving one the capability to track changes to the data. In other words, there is an audit trail available of how the cell changes over a period, the users who triggered the change, and the intent of the change. In this slide you see that at the root level or at neighborhood 0, we have the organization, i.e. Acme. As a child of the Acme organization, at level 1, we have a department TDS, which has 2 applications defined at level 2, or as its children. Below the application are the different roles for the applications. Roles that belong to an application, even though they may have the same name, are exclusive to that application, i.e., users in these roles have access to that application only. As you will notice, roles can be defined at the organization level as under neighborhood 1. These roles are for users working at topmost level of the ACME organization, like users who manage the servers, users who are responsible for application builds, users who are responsible for deployment of the applications, users who are responsible for onboarding of applications and development roles.